YNW Melly found himself back in the courtroom yesterday where he now has to make quite the decision. For anyone that's unaware, Raven Liberty, who is YNW Melly's female defense attorney, is actually under investigation. And YNW Melly's defense team only found this out as of 2 weeks ago when the investigation actually started on Raven Liberty back in December of 2023. So to make the explanation for this rather short and sweet, this is a massive conflict of interest because the prosecution can technically see the conversations between YNW Melly and his defense attorney Raven Liberty, meaning that the prosecution in this case technically have an upper hand if they're able to see strategies that are in place between the defense and YNW Melly. And with that being a conflict of interest, YNW Melly should have been notified about this as well as Raven Liberty so that he could then make the decision earlier on that he doesn't want to work with someone who's under investigation, especially when the individual that's being investigated is the one representing him. Now, for some unknown reason, the prosecution feel like they don't have to give over a search warrant or an affidavit to the defense team. But the judge has been getting quite wound up as he has been demanding that they hand over that evidence to the defense. But the prosecution are claiming that because this is due to witness tampering in the first case, which ended in a mistrial, that for some unknown reason, they don't need to hand this over to the defense.
I'm here to make work. Does this have to do with Mr. Dennis?
It does, John.
Okay, so can you give them a copy of the search warrant?
No, because it's a pending investigation that's still ongoing.
But they do. The defense has every single right to see what it is that's being put forth against them. But the defense only just found out that for the past year, Raven Liberty has been under investigation, and they found this out through Apple. They were never alerted by the prosecution regarding this issue. And because of the fact that YNW Melly has been behind bars now for over 2,160 days, which is almost 6 years, the judge outlined the fact that because he's been sat behind bars for so long, there is no halting this trial. It goes to trial again in September of 2025. Meaning that if, for example, YNW Melly does feel like there's a conflict of interest between him and his defense team, he would have to get rid of his entire defense team and then hire a new one. But if he hires a new one, he's only got several months for that defense team to learn a trial that's been ongoing for years. The prosecution would have technically had like almost 6 years to then re-go at this trial for the second time. And the new defense team that YNW Melly would have hired would have only had several months. So does YNW Melly fire his entire defense team and rehire a new defense team to try and go to trial in the next 7 months on a case that is currently a death penalty case? Or does he quite simply keep the defense team that he already has representing him?